It's okay, fellas. Corey Graves is not upset. He's not upset and all cheesed off. He's there by Booker and Vic. We don't need him in that three-man booth. He didn't really contribute very much, but he's there. Don't worry. I wasn't worried anyway, were you? Were you worried? Were you thinking, I hope he's not upset? I didn't see any tweets about it, did you? I mean, or X's about it. Not really taken that name change, is it? I thought that most of the messages I saw on social media were, this is a work, isn't it? Or maybe he's just a bit cheesed off and he's having to row back on it. Anyway, let's forget about it now, because you know what? It's Corey Graves. So why would you spend too much time on it? And why would you spend too much time on this episode of NXT? It's not worthy of your time. I'm going to give you some bits from it. It seems as though it's something they cobbled together from some sweepings. It's got disparate matches of people thrown together. A couple of them are on the hoof. And I just think, where have your writing meetings been? Have you not had any meetings? Has nobody contacted each other? Have you got to the day of the show and thought, crikey, we've not done anything? Is it one of those? Well, let me take you through, and then I think you'll agree. First of all, Tony D'Angelo, etc., etc. Later on, by the way, Stacks will be cheesed off with him because he wasn't at their match later on. And he'll say, you'll be the underboss for years. You need to keep it going when I'm not here. That's what you need to do. They weren't eating a plate of spaghetti, but they might as well have been. Anyway, first match then, Tony D with the North American belt versus Rich Holland. Yeah, Rich Holland, because if nothing screams you're not fit for the top line more than you've had a go at that heavyweight title, now you're getting the belt that's just a step down from that. Just a step down from that. Obafemi stepped up from this. You're not even going to win it. I mean, spoiler alert, but you'll have seen it, won't you, anyway? Okay, so Sean Spears is out. I really like Sean Spears. He's just not this kind of cerebral, manager type thing. It's just not working. If you want to do it in a boxing way, then you're going to be more demonstrative. It's weird. It's just not quite right. Anyway, they trade shots. There's a big Rich Holland suplex, big flying forearm from Tony D, and then there were shenanigans at ringside. Izzy Dame's in, and apparently she can't leave him alone. I think he says later on. I don't know. I've missed this. I could go back and check it out. I can't be bothered. So Tony D'Angelo then uses that for a big boot, spine buster, and there you go. Right. Dion Lennox, is that what he's called? It is, isn't it? He comes up against Wesley, and Wesley's kind of throwing his weight around, and Trick is there, pretty cheesed off because he's lost the title, of course, and Wesley says something to him, he just slaps him one. They will inevitably fight later on. Right. I'll save my thoughts about Trick, but you know what they are, because I've said them before, but I'll tell you later on. But they will fight later. Now, here comes Bayley, because the thing is, NXT can't do it on their own, so you need somebody from the main roster. The great thing about this is that whether Bayley is out or not, or Julia comes out as well. Now, her English is not as good as, it's not fluent yet, so it's not ideal. And although Bayley says that Roxanne, I think she mentions her going on the main roster and all that, when Roxanne comes out, it's clear just how good she is. And I was worried about her losing the belt, but she doesn't need it, because she has done so well leaning into this heel persona that the fans boo her so heftily and heartily that she has to tell them to shut up Bayley has to mention it. That's the main takeaway from this. And when you've got someone from the main roster coming on and not getting as much of a welcome, I suppose, or as much influence, as much attention as someone who is an NXT mainstay, that just shows you how good Roxanne Perez really is. Oh, I hope they keep her, because they haven't got many who are any good, to be honest. Now then, we've got we've got Kelani Jordan and Jada Parker backstage saying, she mentioned me, Bayley mentioned me, she mentioned me more. For God's sake, if we didn't already have this NXT can't live up to Raw and SmackDown, you know, it's only almost as good as Level Up. Does it still do Level Up? Was it 209 they did? Quite like that all those years ago. Anyway, so there's that. They will inevitably fight later. Will they fight later on? Do they fight later on? Can't remember. Well, it's Petrovic and Parker later, isn't it? Anyway, we go back to the ring, and the end of that great Roxanne Perez, because it became her vignette, her piece. They inevitably fight each other, and when we go back to the ring after that, she mentioned me more. They're still fighting, and then we've got Dion Lennox versus Wesley. For reasons. So Lennox gets caught with a boot, gets a nice spine buster. Wesley gets the cardiac kick. It's over quickly. There's no point in it. And Trick Williams will fight Wesley next week. That's a quick come down, isn't it? Now he'll try and insert himself in the heavyweight picture later on, but it seems as though he's scrabbling around. If they're having you fight Wesley, somebody who has no real angle or direction in NXT at the moment, then that's where you are, mate. Wesley is not at the top of the card. And this is the second time it's happened to Trick. Third time's the charm? Yeah, I don't know about that. Now, there's a Alexis King piece, and he mentions his dad. That's never happened before, has it? Later on, we'll have King versus Dempsey. In fact, we'll have it now. It's really rather good, you know. It's a Heritage Cup match with Heritage Cup rules, and that's the way it should be. Not just 1 fall to a finish, so we can get it on Lexis King. And Lexis King, the whole idea here is that although he hasn't got Steven Regal in his corner, I've got brass knucks for you, you'll have to use them, etc., etc. He does have brass knucks hidden in his spit bucket. Ooh, they're a bit slimy. Ooh! And he keeps putting them on and thinking, oh, I don't want that though. Anyway, the crowd are quiet for this, and it's a shame. Because there's takedowns to begin with, a nice King drop kick, a hammerlock, crossface chicken wing from Charlie Dempsey. Nice bridge out of a cover attempt from Dempsey. That's lovely. He gets the first fall, but it becomes all equal again. It's not really about the falls for me. It's about the wrestling. Dempsey's taken it to King. Then he goes for the knucks and puts them back. Gets a Northern Lights suplex whilst Dempsey works the arm. Not exactly whilst Dempsey works the arm. Difficult to get a Northern Lights suplex while someone's giving you an arm wringer. I mean, shortly after the Northern Lights suplex. And then King dives onto all of No Quarter Catch Crew. No Quarter Catch Crew. I can never say it properly. And eventually, he elects for the low blow, the mule kick that the ref can't see, and gets the coronation for, I think it was 2-1. He keeps the title, the cup, and by nefarious means, you see. Quite like it. Anyway, Carmen Petrovic versus Jada Parker. Petrovic, I mean, I don't know why, I don't know, but I do know that Parker was seen to be somebody who was going, a bit like Lola Vice. I know they fought underground, They're fighting deeper underground. And, Jamiroquai for you there. And I thought, like Lola Vice, that she was going to be at the top of the card. And it doesn't seem that way, does it? Because you're fighting Karl and Petrovic. Although they both can pull out good fights, just not tonight. So Petrovic works the arm. Parker gets a neck breaker kind of puller thing. You know, it's like a sort of gory special, but you know, just pulls at the neck. It's like a torture rack, but with a neck breaker attached to it. A torture rack with neck breaker attachment. Blimey, that sounds like a really nasty. It's like a really nasty kind of Elizabethan. You know, a way to get a confession out of someone. Anyway, back in the ring, we've got a discus clothesline and sling blade from Parker. What was that? Petrovic. A Parker facebuster. And then Kalani Jordan's out to distract Parker for a Petrovic roll-up. And I didn't care. I also didn't care about Nico Vance and Brooks Jensen versus Stacks and Lucia Crucifino. Lucia Crucifino, he's a judge, you know. Oh, he's a judge. Yeah, he's a judge. And the sentence I pass is that he's not charismatic or very good. So, big suplex from Jensen. There's a big Vance clothesline which it sends Stacks inside out, actually. They get the pin. It didn't really matter. This is what I mean. These matches don't really matter. There's no point to them, is there? By the way, we've got an awful lot of promos this week, which basically say, look, NXT's really good. Oh, it's smashing. Don't tell us, show us. Show me, don't tell me. Bit of rush for you there. Anyway, we're in Ava's office after Stacks has become angry, you know. You're the underboss, did you be able to handle it? That sort of thing. Ava's office, we've got Javon Evans. Oh, you know his teeth were knocked out. Well, a blood capsule was knocked loose by Ethan Page, and now he's doing, he can't speak. Sounds like Tony D'Angelo, doesn't it? Is that Tony? No, it's Javon. He can't speak, he's doing it really badly. I hope we don't get many weeks of that. Bloody awful. But Cedric Alexander has been cleared to wrestle, and he can wrestle Ethan Page next week for no reason. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are then in the office. They want a special Waller effect next week. Ava did nothing. She basically sort of went, okay then. Yeah, she's the final boss, according to her dad. But she seems like someone who cleans the toilets, to be honest. Not that that's a denigration, because that is more important than being a boss. Because without that, things don't work. Anybody can be a boss, can't always clean toilets. However, don't call yourself a boss if you can't be one. Now, it's not looking good, is it, NXT this week? And we do have the main event with Grayson Waller and Austin Theory looking on for some reason, because they've got the Waller effect next week. God, I can't wait. Oh, I hope the days fly by. And it's Eddie Thorpe versus Obafemi, because Eddie Thorpe is really a top liner, and you can really believe he's going to win the title, can't you? Got any Phil Collins? They've forgotten that, haven't they, in being a DJ? Because now he's a bad guy, you see, so he doesn't do any of the heritage stuff either. Oh, by the way, Diamond Dallas Page is there. He wasn't doing any yoga, but you can do it if you want with him. Anyway, I'm not advertising anything. Of course not. You've got Obafemi taking it to Thorpe early on. Big Beal shots. Thorpe then works the arm and works a headlock. But there's a sidewalk slam from Femi. He picks him up at Femi picks Thorpe up when he's trying for a triangle choke. Then Thorpe goes off the top. It's a splash for a long 2 count. Slingshot, a snap, a suplex from Eddie Thorpe. That's actually very nice. And he kicks out of Obafemi's chokeslam. But chokeslam, Femi. I'm calling him Oba chokeslam now. Well, you might as well, because he doesn't do much else. But Oba gets the power bomb. The one where he just basically picks them up and leaves them. Doesn't follow them down at all. It's not a sit-out power bomb. It's more like a stand and watch power bomb. And he gets the pin from that. And I'm glad it's all over. I'm glad it's all over. Who did that? It wasn't Jamiroquai, and it wasn't Rush, but who was it? Glad it's all over. It's from the early 80s, so probably nobody listening to it will understand it. It was a UK thing, so probably nobody's heard it. If you have, let me know. And I'll have to watch NXT again next week. Pity me. Because this is just terrible. Got no idea where they're going. A load of inconsequential matches, some of them on the hoof. And it's not even a sort of go-home show. Or a show just after a big event that's been great. It should be doing better. But it just can't seem to. And if it was, I would be saying it was. Because I'm nice like that. You know what? I really can't. Ta-ta.